Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. V'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm Rabbi Susan Abramson, coming to you from the backyard of Eleanor and Richard Finkelman for this special Shabbat in the middle of July, and we wanted to do something outside, just in recognition that the nature is so beautiful these days, and something a little bit different from being in the sanctuary. So we are enjoying being back here, and you'll probably be hearing the birds singing all during our service, which is a nice little accompaniment. And I just want to talk for a second about this week's Torah portion, which is Devarim, which is the very first Torah portion in the final book of the Torah, the book of Deuteronomy. And towards the very beginning, it talks about how the Israelites are standing at the bottom of Mount Horeb, and Moses tells them that they have to begin to leave from there. They can no longer remain stationary in that one place, and it's time for them to move forward and face whatever obstacles and challenges and good things are going to come to them as they continue through the desert towards the promised land. And in a sense, that's kind of where we all are right now. We've been very stationary in one place for this past 15, 16 months, and it's time for us. Moses has come down from the mountain and kind of ordained that it's time for us to move forward. And so it's time for us to think about what our next steps are now that we're feeling freer and the pandemic is really starting to be more and more behind us. What are our goals, and what kinds of things do we want to accomplish as we move forward, and in what direction do we want to go now that we have renewed freedom and renewed opportunity? So on this Shabbat, we think about the blessings, the many blessings that we have in nature, the blessings of our freedom, the blessings of past pandemic, and starting to feel like opportunity is right before us. And I wanted to also introduce, I forgot to do so before, my colleague here, Cantorial Soloist Ben Silver. And we're now going to continue our service by inviting Ellen Finkelman to come on up and light the Shabbat candles, which you may find on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. You, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, amen, amen.
And now that we've lit the lights of Shabbat, we're going to continue with the singing of L'cha Dodi, welcoming the Shabbat bride, which you may find on page 138.
L'cha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלי נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Last verse. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובסבולה, טוב אמונה עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. פני שבת לקבלה.
Now we continue with the second section of our service called the Shema Uvichoteha, the Shema and its blessings, which you may find on page 146. We continue with the Baruch Hu, please rise in body or spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim B'chochma Poteach She'arim Uvitvuna Mishaneh Itim Umachalif et Hazmanim Umsader et HaKochavim B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono. Top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemahadita, Otanu lemahadita. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachdenu uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha u'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla nege yomam v'layla v'yahavadcha al tahasir mimenu le'olami Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We continue on page 152 and 153 with the Shema. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Page 154.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachtecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emeth. Now we're going to continue with the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip, Mi Chamocha, which you may find on page 158. We're going to be joined by our new temple president, Andy Feit.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. No ra tehilot, osef eleh. No ra tehilot, osef eleh. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, mokei hayam l'fnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu v'yamru, Ze'eli anu v'yamru. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
We now continue with Hashkivenu, the prayer where God says that we allows us to create a canopy of peace over us, and we're right now under a beautiful canopy of trees. So we thank God for giving us that peace of mind and all the different types of shelter which God has on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ushmor tzeteinu uvoinu l'chayim u'shalom ve'ata v'yad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, Apares Sukkot Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Continue with V'shamru, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the generations as a covenant for all time, on page 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now continue with the next section of our service, the Tefillah, which you may find on page 164. Please rise in body or spirit.
Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. And we now continue with Shalom Rav, a song for peace, on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon L'chol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon L'chol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Hashem oseh hashalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
We now continue with the Misha Beirach Get Well prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. We think in particular this evening of Phyllis Brillo, who's still recovering from surgery, and Judy Wasserman. And at this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, you may say their names aloud. Anybody else here? We also continually think of those who are recovering from the COVID virus, both in this country and around the world. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Mi sheberach avotinu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And now we not only think of those who need our support and healing, but we also think about all the blessings in our lives and the fact that, come on back in. You keep wandering off screen. We think of all of the many blessings that we enjoy and appreciate in our lives at this moment, the beautiful weather that we're having, the flowers blooming, the fact that we have a sense, an increasing sense of peace and tranquility. It's been such a horrendous past 15 or 16 months for many, many reasons, but it seems like a lot of the reasons why we were feeling so stressed and uneasy and afraid, those are just really dissolving. And so we just thank God that we have this moment, that we can appreciate the peace and tranquility in and many blessings in our lives. So we now continue with the Shehechianu prayer.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. And now we continue with the singing of Osei Shalom, another song for peace, which you may find on page 180.
Osei Shalom bimromab hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei Shalom bimromab hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei Shalom bimromab hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei Shalom bimromab hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Thank you. We now continue our service with the concluding prayers, beginning with the Aleinu on page 586. Please rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu lishabeach la'adon hakol Lateit gedula liyotzer v'reishit Shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot V'lo hosamanu emishpechot ha'adama Shelo sam chelkenu kahem V'goralenu kichol hamonam V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. Page 588.
Shehu notesh shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, v'gavhe meromim, u'Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efezulato, Kakahato, the Torah hato, V'yadata hayom, v'hashivota elevavecha. Ki Adonai, hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, v'aaretz, mihi tachat, enod.
And now we continue with a special version of Bayom Hahu on page 591.
Very special?
No, not very special.
Alright.
Special, but
Okay. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yihye Adonai Echad u'shemo echad V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yihye Adonai Echad u'shemo echad Bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad Bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad u'shemo echad u'shemo echad.
And now we continue with the introduction to the Kaddish prayer, which you may find on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall those whose anniversary of yahrzeits of whose deaths occur this month of July. Barbara Gerhardt, Dale Cross, Janie Wolpert, Charles MacDonald Sr., Mabel Kessler, Richard Myers, Leonard Gilman, Francis Kaddish, Louis Fox, Milton Doshinsky, Helen Baden, Lucille Schumann, Ruth Simon Weber, Gershon Witznoodle, Frank Lachinchi, Mark R. Kravitz, Harriet Shepperton, Lillian Stone, Neil Fox, Lorraine Simon, Sidney Gitlin, Saul Charno, Florence Chaffetz, Raymond J. Newton, Ruth Finkel, Morris Siegel, Nathan Baker. And at this time, if there are names of your own loved ones who you'd like us to remember, either in your heart or as reciting their names out loud, you may say their names at this moment.
Lester Sadowski.
Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We rise and embody your spirit as we continue with the Kaddish prayer on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata,
Damiran Bialma V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Romav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to our country, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, Amen. You may be seated. And now we're going to zip right over to the Kaddish on page 122 and 123. And I think our new temple president is going to lead us in the Kaddish.
Okay.
Well, you stood up and walked over, so you got it.
I need nods. I don't know. 122 and 123. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh bereshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta V'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodecha b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Ellen Finkelman to come on up to say the motzi over her special homemade challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and we are going to conclude our service with a singing of Heivenu Shalom Aleichem, which you may find on page.
It's, I think, 642.
We think it's 642. Close enough. It's pretty easy anyway.
And it's a contemporary version with the words Tehini Matov in the middle of it, so I think everyone should be familiar with it. Here we go.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Heivenu Shalom, Heivenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Heivenu Shalom, Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad, Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Heivenu shalom aleichem, aleichem heivenu shalom, heivenu shalom aleichem, aleichem heivenu shalom, heivenu shalom aleichem, aleichem heivenu. Aleichem Heivenu, Aleichem Heivenu Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Wishing you a continued summer of peace, happiness, health, and enjoyment. And we look forward to seeing you at the end of August for our next Shabbat service, which is hopefully going to be an outdoor service in person at our temple, but also you'll be able to watch live streamed. Shabbat Shalom. Have a good summer.